This is Dutam. Nitai pada kamala, Koti chandra sushitala. Koti chandra sushitala. Chichaya jagata jura. Chichaya jagata Chichaya jagata judai. Nitai Vinibhai Radha Krishna Pai Janai Nitai Vinibhai Radha Krishna Pai Janai Thakur Thodo Nitai Pai Thakur Thodo Nitai Pai Shisham Bandhan nahi jai Vritta janma gelota Vritta janma gelota Shivo shubhoro duraja Nitai na polilo muke Majilo shamshashuke Majilo shamshashuke Nitai na polilo muke Majilo shamshashuke হবে ব্রজে রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে নিতায়ে করুণ হবে ব্রজে রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে চরণ দুই কানে চরণে তাই চরণ দুই কানে নিতায় চরণ তাহার সেবক নিত্য নিতাই পদ শ্রদ্ধা নিতাই পদ Usually I sing, you listen and then repeat. Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaja Prabhupada Paramahamsa, Paiprajakacharya, Ashtadhara Siddhishimad, Srila Abhacharya Aravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Pratishthata Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shamaveda Gaud Bhaktavinda Ki Jai, Granthar Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Shri Sindhita Gauda Siddhanath Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. Vandeyaham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Shakrajatam Shahakadaratam Vitam Tang Sajivam Sataitam Savadutam Parijana Shaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shakam Vitam Mantra Guru Ajota Shikha Guru Ganta Charana Yage Kare Abandon Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavali Prashtattade Shatarene Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So today we are very, very fortunate that today we have with us very divine association of His Grace Atul Krishna Prabhu. Hare. So yesterday many of them were not there, Prabhuji. So I just briefly welcome. All of you know the introduction. How many of you have heard from Atul Krishna Prabhu before? Hare. So in Rath Yatra we always meet, and we are so fortunate that Prabhu has come to Kharagpur almost after 8 years. So let us heartily welcome His Grace Atul Krishna Prabhu to our Kharagpur voice. After so long, Prabhu has been practicing from more than 40 years and inspiring so many devotees, teaching so many courses. So let us welcome him to Kharagpur voice by 3 times loudly chanting Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. And also we'd like to welcome Rameshwaram voice devotees to Dwarka voice. Haribo.
Shagatam Haribo. Okay. Mukam Karti Chalam Pangamangai Tegri Chakrapatam Hambande Sri The materialistic people of Nadia, Mayapur, Navadip, and it was known as Nadia, they were criticizing the devotees, saying, what is the purpose of all this chanting and crying so loudly? I am Brahman. And others explained, oh, they just call out Hari Hari and beg food to fill their bellies. Shunya Daki Bhaktagon Shakal Shangshar Ha Krishna Boliya Dukkha Bhaben Apar. And the devotees would simply say Ha Krishna, seeing the predicament of the materialistic people of Nadia. Does anybody have a Apple charger? Many devotees says there's a garage board with the power. So at this very time, Heno Kale, Tatai Oilo Haridas, Shuddha Vishnu Bhakti Ja Vigraha Prakash. At this time, Haridas Thakur arrived in Navadip. Ebe Shuno Haridas Thakur Kotha. Ebe Shuno Haridas Thakur Kotha. Listen to the descriptions of Haridas Thakur. Jaha Shravane Krishna Paibe Sharvata. Those who hear this will certainly get the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. So Haridas Thakur, he moved to Navadip at this time. He came to Navadip, Mayapur at this time. So he was a young man. Now later you'll hear in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anta Lila, chapter 6, you'll hear about the disappearance of Srila Haridas Thakur. It's very, very significant because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself facilitated the whole departure lila of Srila Haridas Thakur. So this is very extraordinary. Very extraordinary that the Supreme Lord himself, he carried the body of Haridas Thakur. Perhaps you see the picture. The Supreme Lord is carrying the body of Haridas Thakur and they're doing kirtan. So how many devotees get that sort of mercy? The Lord carries after they depart, the Lord carries their body and puts them in the samadhi. How many devotees get such mercy from the Supreme Lord? So we can see that, we can understand Haridas Thakur was so dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you'll remember that in that pastime, that every day, is that Haridas Thakur, Arup Shanatan, Tinjan, Najan, what is that? Haridas Thakur, Arup Shanatan, Tinjan, Jagannath Mundir, Najan. So these three devotees, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Haridas Thakur, they never entered into the Jagannath Mandir. Haridas Thakur, Arup Sanatanan, Jagannath Mandir, Tinjan Najan. They never entered Jagannath temple. Rupa Goswami. Who Rupa Goswami? Rupa Manjari, such an intimate servant, Sevika of Sri Krishna, of Sri Radhika. She never entered, Rupa Goswami, he never entered Jagannath Mandir. And Sanatana Goswami, out of humility, thinking themselves unqualified. Buddha Dena Ganesha Kakurana Kopina Kontashito was that Nidra Aha Viharaka the Vigito, Nidra sleeping, Aha eating, Viharakadi recreational activities, Nidra Aha Viharakadi Vigito. They completely lost interest in. No word, they forgot to sleep. You imagine you're so absorbed in Krishna consciousness, hearing, chanting, discussing, you forgot to sleep. Did we sleep yesterday? I can't remember. I don't think so. They forgot to eat. We never forget to eat. We're always thinking about eating. Just counting down the minutes. When will breakfast be there? What will be there today? Maybe there'll be khichdi, maybe there'll be upma, maybe there'll be what's it called? Chow mein with tomato chutney. I remember I was a new devotee. When you get old, you can't eat, so although you have the desire. You can't eat paneer, you can't eat puris, you can't eat pakora. But I was a young devotee in the temple, I remember, as soon as after Mangalati, Tulasi Puja, sitting in the temple, then my stomach already starting to rumble. 5:30 in the morning, I had to wait till 8:30. But then we'd have huge breakfast. I was 20 years old. We could eat like a mountain. In fact, In fact, the devotees is true. Devotees used to stand around me and watch how much I could eat at breakfast. You see? So they gather around and watch how a man can eat so much breakfast and then go all day Sankirtan. All day Sankirtan, running and running here and there in the shopping mall car parks, and come back at night. So anyway, we were getting on to Haridas Thakur. He couldn't eat. So every day, so they didn't go in there. So out of humility, nidra aha vihardakaji, nidra aha, nidra sleeping, aha eating, vihardakaji recreation, nidra aha vijito. The Goswamis vijito. They completely lost interest in eating. Forgot to eat. And so much absorbed in the Bhakti Rash, Sheva Shuk. Kabe Bhakti Rash Shastra Karayali Khan. Sometimes they were writing the Bhakti Shastras. Kabe Bhakti Rash Shastra Karayali Khan. Chaitanya Kota Shune, Chaitanya Chinton. Chaitanya Kota Shune, discussing about Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Chinton, thinking about Lord Chaitanya. Just thinking about Lord Chaitanya, they would spend their time. And lost interest in eating. The Goswamis. Such persons, however, nidra aha viharakadi vijito cha atanta dino. Cha but atanta extremely dino, humble. It's not like us, we're in ISKCON and we know that you have to be humble. Kind of have to, It's cool for devotees to be humble. It's very cool. So you say, Prabhu, no, I cannot, Prabhu. I'm so fallen. I'm the most fallen, Prabhu. I have no call. But we don't really mean it. We don't really think that. We'd have to say in ISKCON, no, Prabhu, no. But we don't really think that. But there's other people out there, look at them in the morning, they get up at 8 o'clock. They're more fallen than me. But still, in ISKCON you have to say, no, Prabhu. No, Prabhu, no. But Rupa and Sanatana and Haridas Thakur, actually, they thought that. They thought that. Nicha jati, nicha shangi, potit odom, nicha jati, low birth. Rupa Goswami comes in front of Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami comes in front of Mahaprabhu. Usually we have our list ready for the authority, even the spiritual mother. We have, okay, we did these programs, we did this, we distributed so many books, we did this, we did the Bhakti Shastri exam, Bhakti Bhav exam. We have a big long list all ready to give the full report, no detail spared. So he introduces himself. Nicha Jati, a low birth. Who are you? Nicha, I am Nicha Jati, low birth, Nicha Shangi, low association. Potit Odom, fallen, the lowest of mankind. Kubishai Kupe, Goinanu Jonom. My life has been wasted in the deep dark well of Kubishai, Kupe, of sense enjoyment. But actually he's thinking this. Even though they're the most exalted, they're thinking this. So they never entered the temple. Not sort of make we'll not go, they're all smarters. No, actually they thought, when Haridas Thakur arrived, we'll discuss it a little bit. So, Mahaprabhu every day would go and visit Haridas Thakur. Siddha Bakula, who's been Siddha Bakula? Everybody's been Siddha Bakula. Very fortunate. You can go to Jagannath Puri anytime. The devotees from Bengal, they would walk. Hey, Bengal, Gaur Mandal Bhumi. Jaba Jane Chintamoni. Non different from Vrindavan. Gaur Mandal Bhumi. The earth. Jaba Jane Chintamoni. This is not my opinion just because I learned Bengali. No. It's Narottam Thakur Mahashai. He's singing Gaur Mandal Bhumi. The earth, the soil. Gaurmandal Bhumi, Java Jane Chintamoni is desire fulfilling. It's transcendental. Tadahoy Braja Bhumi Bhash. They attained the Vrindavan. So the devotees would go from Bengal, they would walk to Jagannath Puri. It would take 4 to 5 weeks walking. Anyone like to walk Jagannath Puri? Walking Jagannath Puri. You can go on the Padayatra, walking with the ox. So walk to Jagannath Puri, and then they would stay there 4 months. They arrived before Rath Yatra. They would stay 4 months, rainy season, and then come back. It would take 1 month to go, 1 month to come back. That's 2 months, 4 months there, 6 months. Half of their year, half of their life. They would give for attending Rath Yatra. So anyone here not going to attend Rath Yatra? Kolkata, Upad, Rath Yatra, anyone not coming? Who is the fool? The devotees from Bengal would spend half of their life just to attend Rath Yatra, Mahaprabhu. And we can just take a train, go to Calcutta, come 1-2 days, stay overnight in the pandal. You can sleep here and there, many men, you'll trip over them. Sleeping on the ground, here and there, is it? No? Nimai Anand, he's also there, sleeping on the ground. In the brigade, yeah. So then, so therefore Jagannath Puri, actually, Shachi Devi, she requested Mahaprabhu to remain in Jagannath Puri, although his desire was to remain in Vrindavan. Eibesh koile, eibe Vrindavan giya, Krishna nisheban koile nibrite boshya. After taking sannyas, wandering in Haridas, Mahaprabhu, he exclaimed that Eibesh koilo, having accepted this dress, Ebe Vrindavan giya, I will go to Vrindavan, Krishna nisheban kori nibrite boshya. I will worship Lord Krishna in a secluded place. After sannyas, Mahaprabhu had desire. But Nityananda Prabhu here, and Nityananda Prabhu, devotee care. No, how can Mahaprabhu take sannyas and leave us just so suddenly? So he said to Acharya Ratna, you go to Shantipur, you tell Advaita Acharya, I'm bringing Mahaprabhu. And then you go to Navadip, you tell all the devotees to come to Shantipur. So 10 days, Mahar Shommelon, Vaishnav, Kirtan Prasadam Alochana Harikota in Shantipur. And then after that, Mahaprabhu, he said, what to do? I've suddenly taken sannyas, but how can I give up your association? Gaudange Shongi Gone, Nitta Shidha Kori Mane. They're all the eternal associates. There's eternal associates. They appear along with Krishna in Vrindavan. They appear along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadip. So how can they give up their association? So Sachi Devi says, go to Jagannath Puri. And the two purposes will be fulfilled. Because Jagannath Puri, non-different from Vrindavan. In fact, in Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu, he would take darshan of Lord Jagannath. He would see Shyam Sundar. He would see Shyam Sundar, taking darshan of Lord Jagannath. So Mahaprabhu went to Puri, and then the devotees, they could come every year. Every year they came to Jagannath Puri and stayed 4 months. So then Mahaprabhu, and Haridas Thakur, he came the first time. We'll read a few verses a little later, in detail. He came. And then he remained, didn't leave, he remained in Puri, Haridas Thakur. In fact, in Shantipur, Haridas Thakur, he had connection with Srila Advaita Acharya. So every day Mahaprabhu would go and take prasadam, Mahaprasadam, from Lord Jagannath. He would take to Haridas Thakur. Just see out of his humility. The humility actually attracts the Lord. The genuine humility. If one actually thinks oneself that one is not qualified, and genuine, sees one, remember, Jogita Bichar Kichu Nahi Pai. Jogita Bichar, when I examine myself, Jogita Bichar Kichu Nahi Pai. I see no qualification. Toma Kuruna Shar, your mercy is everything to me. Kuruna na hoile, kandiya, prana na rakibo ar. Kuruna na hoile, if you're not merciful to me. Kandiya, simply I will weep. Prana na rakibo ar, and I will no longer see any reason to maintain this life. Kuruna na hoile, if you're not merciful. So one who has genuine humility based upon the understanding the reality of his fallen condition, and doesn't pose oneself as a greatly advanced devotee, but understands that one is so unqualified, and only by the mercy of the Vaishnavas is one able to carry on in Krishna consciousness. Actually, that attitude, that attracts the Lord. The Lord doesn't like pride. Just like when the Digvijay Pandit, he was coming to Mayapur, all of the scholars were traumatized. What will happen? He's going to challenge us. Saraswati Devi herself appears on his tongue whenever he speaks. How can we possibly defeat such a scholar? He's been blessed, chanting the mantra of Saraswati Devi. Being pleased with his worship, she gave him a boon. And whenever he would speak, she would appear on his tongue. Saraswati Devi. And he was so proud. No one could stand before him. He could defeat. And he arrived in, the devotee said to Vishwambar, Dvijamoni, the jewel of the Navadip Brahmins, they said that the scholar is coming and what to do. All of the Pandits of Navadip, they're all terrified, they're all fleeing, what to do. Mahaprabhu said, Chintane, he said that the Lord will deal with his pride. He said that the tree which is laden with fruit, it hangs low. So actually, as one becomes advanced in Krishna consciousness, one actually becomes more humble. Not that amanina manadena, amanina, no, not that one is expecting respect. That, hey, I've come on, everybody, it's me. Yeah. Where's the reception? Where's the special privileges? We're expecting all of these things. This is dangerous. That if actually one is considering himself only recipient of the mercy of the Lord, whatever he's been able to achieve in Krishna consciousness, only by the Vaishnava Kripa. And when we're Jogita Vichar, when we analyze, you see this is the fact. This is the fact. Could you imagine, having not come to Krishna consciousness, you would have achieved the things in your life that you have achieved? Having not come to Krishna, you'd just be like an ordinary, useless person. There's thousands, millions of them there. You're just like one of them. But because of Krishna, chanting the holy name, associating with the devotees, taking prasadam, you become Krishna eyes, become purified. You become a recipient of the Lord's Kripa Shakti. And in this way one becomes perfect, simply based on humility. So Mahaprabhu, every day he would go, he was attracted. He's attracted. You know, he's technically speaking, he's born in a Muslim family. Haridas Thakur. Mahaprabhu every day would go, take the prasadam of Lord Jagannath. So then one day Govinda, he's coming, sometimes if Mahaprabhu didn't go, he sent Govinda, his personal servant. So Govinda goes, he sees Haridas Thakur lying on his back. And, what is it? Oh, what is the, oh, no, I haven't, he brought prasadam. Oh no, how can I take prasadam? I haven't completed my rounds. How many rounds was Haridas Thakur chanting?
192.
192. Yeah, 192. Very good. Yeah, very good. 192. Wow, that was quick. 192. So from his whole life, it's not that he just did that for a while until he became famous. No need to chant like that anymore. Already I'm famous enough. No, this was his vow. 3 lakh, 10 lakh. So he came and he said, no, but you've brought Mahaprasad, what to do? I have to honor. So he took a little prasad. And then the next day, so he was old. I won't go into the detail, but he was old. So he was Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri when he was 24 years old. And he remained in Jagannath Puri 24 years. So Mahaprabhu is in his 30s. Haridas Thakur is in his 70s. He's an old person. He's old. You see Mahaprabhu carrying the body. He's an old man. So Haridas Thakur, he was already chanting these 3 lakhs even before Mahaprabhu appeared. Even before Mahaprabhu took birth. Haridas Thakur was already doing his bhajan. And these pastimes that we hear, like for example in delivering the prostitute, this happened before Mahaprabhu appeared. his pastime, delivering the prostitute. Haridas Thakur was a young man then. The prostitute was saying, "Oh, you're so young, you're so handsome, you're such an empowered preacher." He was a young man. So that was before Mahaprabhu appeared. So reading a little bit from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antolila, chapter 3. Haridas Jabe Nijagrihe Tyag Koilo. He was born in a place in Bangladesh, a place called Budhan. It's near Joshore, Shatkira. If you go to the border of Bangladesh from Mayapur, if you go directly in the east direction to Bangladesh, you come to a border post of Benapole. That's the main overland border crossing between Kolkata and Dhaka. It's called Benapole. Srila Prabhupada visited that place, and the land was given to ISKCON. That's in India, on the border of Bangladesh and India. A place called Haridashpur. Haridashpur. The place is named after Haridas Thakur. He performed his bhajan there, Haridashpur. And on the other side of the border, there's a border there. You have to go through immigration, everything. There's a border. On the other side is Benapole. Benapole. Haridas Thakur performed his pastime. The place is called Benapole. It's the same name as it was 500 years ago when Haridas Thakur performed his pastimes there. So a little further on, if you drive for 2 hours from Benapole, if you drive for 2 hours towards, again, east direction, you come to Joshore. Joshore. And there is Rup Sanatan Shriti Tirtha, ISKCON's temple of the birthplace of Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. That's there in Joshore, near Joshore. And then not far from that place is the birthplace of Haridas Thakur. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Antolila chapter 3 is describing that Haridas Jabe Nijagrihe Tyag Koilo. So giving up that place, Nijagrihe Tyag Koilo. Haridas Thakur, he came to now what is India. Benapole Bon Mode Koto Din Rohila. Benapole, Bon Mode, in the jungle in Benapole. Nejon Bone, Kutir Kori, Tulashi Shebon, deep in the forest. Kutir Kore, building a cottage. Kutir Kore. Tulashi Shebon, he worshipped Tulasi. That's very interesting. It's very interesting. We were hearing, I think I discussed, I've mentioned yesterday morning in Newtown Temple, how the associates of Mahaprabhu in Mayapur, Mahaprabhu's associates, they were all Brahmins. They were Brahmins. Mahaprabhu also was a Brahmin, and he's associating with the Brahmins. They're all Brahmins. Shivash Thakur, Gadada Pandit, Bakrasha Pandit, Suklamba Brahmachari. They're all Brahmins, and Brahmin means they're worshipping the deity at home. Ek kunda gache ache Shrivas Mondire kunda rupe kibakal pataru avatare. There is a kunda gach, kunda tree, kunda. You know kunda? It's a jasmine, small, white. It's coming into season now. Ek kunda gacha che Shrivas Mondire. In the courtyard of Shrivas Thakur, there's one kunda gach. Kunda rupe kiba kalpataru avatare. In the form of a kunda tree, actually, kiba kalpataru avatare. It's an incarnation of a desire-fulfilling tree from the spiritual world. So that kunda tree, it gave flowers incessantly, never exhausted. Even in Mayapur these days, there's so many deities, the Batajis, and making the garlands, there's oftentimes major disputes over the flower collecting regions. Who can get flowers from this bush, from that bush? You see the Matajis, they have big fights. What are you doing taking flowers from my tree? So in Mahaprabhu's pastimes, it's so extraordinary. Sri Chaitanya Doya, Koroho Bicha, Bicha Kori Chitte Pabe Chomotkar. They're astonishing. his pastimes. Everything is so extraordinary about his pastime. His associates, all Brahmins, and they all gathered in one place every morning to collect flowers. And they discussed the Krishna Katha. And then the news was revealed after Goshunda had returned from Gayadam. The younger brother of Srivas Thakur, Sri Ram, his name is Parvata Muni. He came, he was so overjoyed. Oh, what is the news? You're so happy that all the devotees gathered there collecting flowers. What is the news? You're so happy to, Parama Odbud Kota, Maha Ashambhav, Nimai Pandit Hoilo, Parama Vaishnav. Most extraordinary news. Maha Ashambhav, the impossible. Nimai Pandit Hoilo, Parama Vaishnav. Nimai Pandit has become a great Vaishnav. He's shedding tears of love of God. Pada Pada Tirta Laitu Matranam, just by hearing the name Pada Pada Tirta. Nayane Jale Shapunno Hoilostan. The tears from his eyes are flooding the courtyard. So Mahaprabhu's associates, they're all Brahmins. They're all worshipping the deity. Why are they collecting flowers? And they would chat. That would be the place of social networking. How the world has changed so much, even in my life. You know, when I was young, we had a telephone. There was a telephone in the house. One telephone for the whole household. Can you believe such a thing? One telephone for the whole household. And the phone would ring. And someone would answer. Who's that for? This is a Damon. And this was sit. Everyone would listen. You have conversation. But interesting enough, we never thought there was. We never felt inconvenienced. See, that's very interesting. We never felt inconvenience. This is the mind, you know. There's never enough. No matter how much facility is given, still we're trying to more. But actually, in material existence, you can adjust to any situation. You adjust to any situation. You become accustomed to suffering. You become accustomed to suffering. You become accustomed to suffering and just accept it. Kemon achen, bhalo achi. What got a bhalo? Ki rakam bhalo? How is it bhalo? Nah, bhalo achi. Go bhalo achi. It's illusion. It's like we're happy. Nitai na bolilo muke, majilo shangsha shuke. We sing this song. Amazing. Majilo shangsha, you're happy. The material, that's what the materialists. It's why the Vaishnavas are they're so pained, because the materialists, they don't think they're suffering. They think they're very successful. I have an iPhone. I have so many things. I have a good career. I have a job. I have a motor scooter. They don't think they're suffering. This is illusion. A little bit of sense gratification is enough. A little bit of sense gratification keeps them in a state of complete illusion and bewilderment. So therefore there's no hope. You cannot awaken. They don't want to be awoken. They don't want to be awoken. They're happy. So the only hope is the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna. Enecha Oshad. Maya Nashi Badalage. It's the Mahamantra. So powerful. Even we became a devotee. We weren't interested in spiritual life. You imagine? We weren't like, I want spiritual life. Oh, where's God? We didn't care anything of these things. But the Mahamantra entered the ears, we heard the chanting, and awakens the dormant love of God. And you change your life. You cannot control, actually. The natural love of God, it awakens the power of chanting Hare Krishna. You chant properly, Hare Krishna. Chant in the kirtan dance. That's it. Very powerful. So Haridas Thakur here, he's mentioned Haridas Jabe, he's the Nijan Bone Kutir Kode Tulasi Shebon. He's worshipping Tulasi Devi. That's very interesting, because he's not worshipping the deity, because he's not even considering himself a Hindu. He's considering himself so fallen. He's not worshipping deity. Worshipping Tulasi Devi. Ratri din tin loka nam shankirtan. What a verse, huh? Nijan bone kutir kore tulasi shebon. Ratri din tin lokanam shankirtan. So already at this time, even he hasn't reached Navadip. He's still in Bangladesh, in Benapal, but he's chanting the tin lak. So generally, it's considered that Haridas Thakur is a disciple of Srila Advaita Acharya Thakur. And even in Shantipur, you'll see a small memorial stan, and it mentions here is the place where Advaita Acharya initiated Haridas Thakur. However, we don't hear in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Chaitanya Bhagavat, we don't hear any description of such a ceremony taking place. However, generally it's considered Haridas Thakur, Advaita Acharya, I mean, they're very close. Haridas Thakur, but here already, Haridas Jabe, here he's a young man, he hasn't even reached Shantipur. But he's referred to by Haridas, the name Haridas. So where he got the name Haridas, it's not mentioned. But Haridas. And Tin Laknam Shankirtan, already he's chanting 300,000 names of japa every day. Already, even before meeting Advaita Acharya. So even before that, when he was in Bangladesh and Joshua, he was given the association of the Vaishnavas. He received the name Haridas Thakur, and he was taken on the vow to chant the 3 lakhs every day. So then it was at that time that the Ramchandra Khan, the Jomidar of the area, I've been to Benapur many times, this place. We used to come from Dhaka to Kolkata and overland many times, Benapur, many times, so many times, crossing the border there. When I'd come there, the immigration, come on, Acho bhai. They knew me. Every time I come, come on, Onik Din Por, come on, Acho bhai. At the immigration post. So many times I crossed the border there. And Benapur, the place is condemned place. It's condemned city, condemned town, because they offended Haridas Thakur. It's just a big long line of trucks, some at dust, some at noise, and then all the truck drivers, they're staying there overnight and in a rough place. But anyway, but there's a temple there, a compound, where this incident of Haridas Thakur and the prostitute. So that place is there, there's a temple there of Haridas Thakur. It was in the possession of ISKCON for a while, but unfortunately, due to our behavior, we lost that property, but we had it for some time. So, Haridas Thakur, that incident with the Jamindar, he bought the prostitute and he delivered the prostitute, and then Haridas Thakur left and traveled further east towards Shantipur. And the prostitute, she stayed there, shaved her head, gave up all of her ornaments, and she took on the vow of Haridas Thakur, chanting in the same kutir. So then Haridas Thakur, he came and he was preaching in the area of Pulia. Now if you go from Mayapur to Kolkata, then you go past Shantipur, you can see this big bagan of mango trees where Haridas Thakur, where Advaita Acharya has his body. There, Advaita Sripad is mentioned on the highway, you can see. So you go a little further on, and then you come to Pulia. So Pulia was the place where Haridas Thakur was residing there in a cave, and still you can see the cave. Although you can't see down, but a cave is like an underground, what would you call it, basement type thing, and dig a hole. He was down on the underground there, and he was chanting there, and he at that place. All of the Brahmins, he was respected by all the Brahmins of Pulia, because of this is 500 years ago, and even Shantipur is known for its you could say strictness in the social etiquettes. Shantipur, very traditional. The Brahmins, the Shantipur Vaishnava Brahmins, are very prestigious. Shantipur Vaishnava Brahmins, and the culture there is high class, and they're all. This is extraordinary that this Haridas Thakur is not even born in a Hindu family, but he's respected by all of the Vaishnava Brahmins and all the Brahmins, all the scholars. They all respected Srila Haridas Thakur. They would visit, and one time the physicians they said that there's so much poisonous fumes here. There must be a snake residing in your cave, a snake. And Haridas Thakur said, well, I don't know about any snake. I certainly don't notice anything, but because you're being inconvenienced and because you're dwelling, you're meditating, you're thinking about this all the time, instead of thinking about Krishna, then either tomorrow I will leave this place or the snake will leave. So having said that, suddenly the Brahmins saw a big snake come down from under the cave, a big snake with the orange and red spots and a big a jewel on its head, a huge big snake, and all the Brahmins were terrified at Haridas Thakur, and the snake just simply slithered past Haridas Thakur, never to be seen again. And this picture is there, second canto Srimad Bhagavatam, painting of that particular incident. So that was all going on in Pulia. And at that time, Haridas Thakur, he was associating with Advaita Acharya Thakur in Shantipur. And the incident of Advaita Acharya offering him a Shraddha Patra after performing the ceremony in respect of the departed ancestors. Advaita Acharya, he gave the first plate of prasadam to Haridas Thakur. Is a very extraordinary incident in the presence of so many exalted, aristocratic, prestigious Brahmins, and he gave the first meal to Haridas Thakur. So Haridas Thakur at that time, he was associating with Advaita Acharya, and mentions when Goshundar appeared, Gauda Purnima, he appeared, then Haridas Thakur and Advaita Acharya were dancing in ecstasy in Shantipur. So we can see indicated that already Haridas Thakur was doing his bhajan, already so many followers. He was famous because of his preaching, even before Mahaprabhu appeared. And then, of course, he came to Navadip, and then Mahaprabhu was performing. Mahaprabhu came from Gaya, and he began the Sankirtan pastimes. But even during all of the earlier pastimes, as childhood pastimes, the Vidya Leela, Haridas Thakur, he was there in Pulia and Shantipur. And then when Mahaprabhu began the Sankirtan movement, Sharva Jogated Bhagye Prabhu Gauda Chandra Prem Bhakti Prakasha Korila Aramba. He began his pastimes of manifesting Prema Bhakti Prakash in the Sankirtan, in association of performing Sankirtan, in the association of his intimate associates in Navadip. So at that time, Haridas Thakur, he joined the Sangha, because already he was associate of Advaita Acharya. He joined the Sangha, and he was joining in the Kirtan. And these Kirtans went on for 1 year in the Shiva Sangha, and these were confidential. They weren't open to the public. Door closed. Here, the door closed. You see, door. Sometimes door open, sometimes door closed. So those Kirtans, Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu dancing in the evening in Shiva Shangan. Kirtan Korite Prabhu Sharva Babu Udoy. The Kirtan would begin. Kirtan Korite Prabhu Sharva Babu Udoy. All of the ecstatic manifestations would erupt in the body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sarva Babu Udoy, Stamba, Kampa, Pulakasra, Gadgada, Proloy. Stamba, he would become stunned like a pillar standing in the middle of it. We don't see that one so much in ISKCON. Someone just standing in the kirtan. But Mahaprabhu would become stunned, standing in transfixed, standing in Stamba, Kampa, his body quivering like the autumn leaf, quivering, Stamba, Kampa, Pulakasra, his hair standing on end, like a ripened jackfruit. Pulakasra, Gadgada, his throat would choke up. Pralay, devastation, rolling devastation. And Mahaprabhu's kirtan, Sachi Devi, she would see the kirtan of Mahaprabhu and she would feel pain. Sachi Devi, she would feel pain. Mahaprabhu would spin in the air, spin, and then crash on the ground. As we don't see devotees doing that. They dance around. Sometimes someone falls over, knocks over, like a knocks over 4 or 5 other devotees. But Mahaprabhu spinning, and then crash on the ground. Would you like to see the kirtan of Gaushunda? Anybody? Anyone here have desire? Anyone have desire to see that kirtan? Anyone? Tato mam tato gatva vishite tat anant. You can enter vishite tat anantaram. You can enter that eternal lila if you desire. If the desire becomes strong enough, antakale chamam eva shmaram. At the last moment, if you have the desire, sa prayati samadbhavam, you can achieve. You can enter that kirtan nitya lila. So Sachi Devi, she would see Mahaprabhu crash to the ground. And then she prayed to Lord Narayan. Would you like to hear what she prayed? It's very interesting. Balakal hoite jay koila. Balakal hoite jay tomar koilu shebon. From childhood, she's praying to Lord Narayan. From childhood, I've done so much worship for you. Balakal hoite to tomar jay koilu shebon. Ta po. More deho Narayan. Give me the fruit. Ta po. More deho Narayan. Give me the fruit of all of that service I have performed for you since I'm a childhood. She asked for a benediction as a result of all the seva she performed. She said, Jai kale nimai pore dharani upare. The time when Nimai falls and crashes to the ground, dharani upare. Beta jeno na lage Nimai shoryade. Beta jeno na lage. He will not feel any pain in his body when he crashes to the ground. This is the benediction that Sachi Devi prayed for from Lord Narayan as a result of the services she had performed since childhood. So then after 1 year of performing the Sankirtan and Shiva Shangan, Mahaprabhu suddenly announced, in the midst of all the devotees, he called his 2 principal preachers, Shano Nityananda, Shano Haridas, Shabatra Amara Gai Kodo Prakash. Listen Nityananda, listen Haridas, Shabatra, in all, everywhere, Amara Gai, my instructions, Kodo Prakash, you reveal. So he began the preaching, the formal preaching, systematic, the proselytization, the indoctrinization, the convincing the materialistic people to take to the chanting of Hare Krishna. This is a mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he enunciated, he established, he initiated that mission by first ordering Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to systematically preach. Prati ghore goye giye. Prati ghore ghore giye. Go to every house, koro ebika, and you beg from the residents, Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Koro Krishna, Shikha. Chant Hare Krishna, follow Krishna's instructions, worship Krishna, follow in Krishna's instructions. So in this way, Haridas, even at the time, it's not that he was young, he was with the Advaitacharya, he was wandering, he's preaching in Pulia, he used to chant 10 lakh Naam. But even all night the Kirtan in Shiva Shangan, and with Mahaprabhu chanting, still he was doing 10 lakh Naam. And Mahaprabhu, he recognized the empowerment of so many associates were there. So many associates, so many eternal associates of Krishna were present in Mahaprabhu's Kirtan. However, he anointed Haridas Thakur as the principal preacher, recognizing the spiritual potency of Haridas Thakur. And so those pastimes in Navadip, they continued for 4 years. Mahaprabhu, the Kirtan in Shiva Shangan, and Mahaprabhu preaching in Navadip. E shikha niya shob nadiya fiche neche gaunitai. Radha Krishna bol de shabai. E shikha niya, taking these teachings, shob nadiya, all through Navadip. Fiche neche, fiche, wandering, neche, dancing. Mahaprabhu's held Mahaprabhu preaching is dancing. There's no organization will write a WhatsApp. You organize it. We need loudspeaker. We need. You have to make the prasadam. Have to make the poster. This is preaching in modern times. Organization. Mahaprabhu just kirtan. Just kirtan. That's his preaching. Just kirtan. Udyalo oruna purababage dvichamoni gauda amane jage. He wakes up in the morning. Bhakata shamoha laila shate. Taking devotees with him. Gelo nogo do brache. He goes out into the villages and the towns. Tatai bajala call. The madanga is tapping. Tatai. Gana tatai jajelo. The judge, they're the jumpers. They're gana. They're the premier dala. Shona da anga. In the quivering, in love. Premier dala shona da anga. His golden limbs are quivering in love. Chordane nupoda baje, and these ankle bells are chiming. Ching, ching. Mukunda Madhava Yadava Hari, Polino Polo de Bodhana Podi. Okay. Sing it. We can sing it on this thing tomorrow. And he's preaching, Michin Nida Boshe, Gilode Date, the night you've wasted in illusion, Dibo Shashadi Rashajay, and the day you're simply decorating your body, Emon Dulab Manav Deho, you've achieved this rare Manav Deho, human body, Paya Kikore Bhavana Keho, but what are you utilizing it for? What is your consciousness? It's just in the mundane, Paya Kikore Bhavana Keho. Ebe na bhajile jashudu shuta, charame pori belaje. Having not worshipped the Lord of the heart, jashudu shuta, charame pori belaje, charame, the last moment, poribe, you will fall down in a state of embarrassment, giving up the body. So in this way, Mahaprabhu is preaching in Navadip, just doing a Sankirtan. And this carried on for 4 years. And then Mahaprabhu took sannyas in order to all India preaching. He delivered Nadia, he established the Sankirtan, now all India preaching. Kali Chuge, Juga Dharma, Name Procha, Toti Lage, Pita Varna Chaitanya Avatar. The Kali Juga Dharma, the Yuga Dharma, the process of religion for the age, Kali Juga Dharma. Name Procha, propagating of the holy name. Toti Lage, for this reason, Toti Lage, Pita Varna, Chaitanya Avatar, he appeared in the yellow color, as Chaitanya Avatar. So in order to fulfill the purpose of his incarnation, he accepted sannyas and began preaching holy name all over India. So first he went to Jagannath Puri. And then quickly he departed. He went South India tour 2 years after delivering Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He went on the South Indian tour for 2 years and then returned to Puri. So the devotees in Navadip, they're all simply remorse and great depression without the association of Gaushundur performing the kirtan in Navadip. And then news was received by Kala Krishna Das. He came and visited Shachi Devi and Advaita Acharya, and Nimai has returned from South India. So quickly the devotees, they arranged to go to Jagannath Puri from Navadip. All of the Vaishnavas, they all gathered there, not just Nadia, from all over Bengal, Kulyanagram, Adi Saptagram, Kunda Bashi, all of these different Katwa, all of these different devotees assembled in Shantipur, Advaita Acharya's house, and then they journeyed to Navadip, to Jagannath Puri. Last night I think I was quoting that verse. When they arrived, they were doing Sankirtan. Gauda Hoite Vaishnav Ashiachin Dui Shatta. 200 devotees who come from Bengal. Mahaprabhu Bhakti Shab, Mahabhagavata. Devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all greatly advanced in devotional service. And then the king and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Gopinath Acharya, they go under the roof of the palace, and Gopinath Acharya, he's mentioning who's this, all of the different devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita, Govinda and Govinda and Sarudamada, they came with garlands offered to Advaitacharya. And then the devotees, they came, the king saw the kirtan. Ache prem, ache nitya, ache haridoni. Such love, such dancing, such calling on the holy names. Kaha naha deki achi kaha naha shuni. I've never heard, I've never seen such kirtan. This is the king of Orissa. In this way, the extraordinary, apurva, unprecedented nature of Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement is declared by the king of Orissa. So then the devotees, they ventured close to the Mahaprabhu's room in the Gambhir, and Mahaprabhu is sitting with the devotees. He's hadn't seen them in 2 years, all the devotees from Navadip. Then suddenly Mahaprabhu says, Haridas kotai. Where is Haridas? Where is Haridas? Mahaprabhu said, where is Haridas? The devotees replied, Dur hoite Haridas koshai dekiya. Dur hoite Haridas koshai dekiya. They pointed in the distance where they had first gathered on the banks of Narendra Sarovar. Dure is a distance from the Jagannath temple. Dure hoite Haridas koshai dekiya. In the distance, Mahaprabhu sees Haridas Thakur. Raja pote prante pori ache dandabad hoya. He's still lying on the road there paying his obeisances. This is after some time after they had arrived. They had arrived, and then the garlands, and then the description, and then they came closer, maybe half an hour, and then they're sitting with Mahaprabhu, maybe 45 minutes. Haridas Thakur, he's still lying on the road offering obeisances to Lord Jagannath. After 45 minutes. Dur hoite Haridas koshai dekiya. Mahaprabhu sees Haridas Thakur at a distance. Rajapote, on the side of the road. Rajapote, prante, podi ache, dandabad hoya, paying his obeisances. So Mahaprabhu, he sent the devotees to bring Haridas. The devotees went, and they said, the Lord wants to see you, please come. What did Haridas Thakur say? It's very interesting. Haridas kohe, mui nicha jati char. I am fallen. I am from a low birth. Mui nicha jati char. Mandir nikarte jaite mor nahi odhikar. I have no eligibility to go close to the temple of Lord Jagannath. Jagannath Shebaker Mor Sporsha Nahi Hoy. If I go close to the temple, then maybe there's the possibility that the servants of Lord Jagannath, if they touch me, that will be a great offense on my behalf. If the servants of Jagannath touch me, even if they see me, that will be a great offense. So therefore I will never go close to the temple of Lord Jagannath. He says that if I could just go and get a solitary place near the temple of Lord Jagannath, then I could pass my time, and I wouldn't commit the offense of the devotees, of the servants of Lord Jagannath seeing me or touching me. So then this news was related to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was very pleased to hear the humility of Haridas Thakur. And so Haridas Thakur, he took up his residence in Siddha Bakula. And Mahaprabhu came every day to see him. And Haridas Thakur, he remained there. As long as Mahaprabhu was in Puri, he remained there. He did accompany Mahaprabhu 2 years later. Mahaprabhu again returned to Bengal in an attempt to go to Vrindavan, as Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 17, Madhya-khanda, attempt to go to Vrindavan. Gauda hoite mor dui shamasrai janani janabi ei dui doyamoy. He explained to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Rai Ramanand that I will go to Vrindavan via Bengal, because Gauda Hoite Mordui Shamasrai. In Gauda Desh I have two shelters, Janani, Janavi, Sachi Devi and Ma Ganga, Dui Doyamoy. So feeling great separation from Sachi Devi and Ma Ganga, Mahaprabhu again returned to Bengal in his attempt to go to Vrindavan. He didn't visit Mayapur, he went on the other bank of the Ganga through Bidhanagar, Kuliagram, delivered the offenders, and then he reached Ramkelli where he met Rupa and Sanatan. Haridas Thakur was also present at that time. And then after initiating Rupa and Sanatan, Aj hoite toma naam Rup Sanatan, Dhanna chara toma dhanna fete mon mon. From today you will be known as Rupa and Sanatan. Dhanna chata, give up your humility. Toma dhanna fete mon mon. Your humility is breaking my heart. So after that meeting, Sanatan Goswami, he actually advised Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's very extraordinary. First meeting, disciple, he gave advice. And Mahaprabhu appreciated the advice. Very good what Sanatan has said. It's not good to go to Vrindavan with such a huge following. So Mahaprabhu, from reaching Kanai Natashala, he returned and again traveled through Bengal, and he returned to Jagannath Puri along with Haridas Thakur and so many other associates. And in this way, Haridas Thakur, he remained for the remainder of his life in Jagannath Puri, chanting Tinlak and associating with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So any comment, any question today?
Prabhu, Haridas Thakur knew the power of chanting holy name.
What?
Haridas Thakur knew the power of chanting holy name.
He what? He
Knew
knew.
the purification. And he himself was chanting 3 lakh names. So even after chanting that, how he could consider that he is not qualified, or like he will pollute the servants of Jagannath. Like he must have become pure, right?
Well, he's not thinking that. He's chanting Hare Krishna because, in fact, when he was attacked in the market by the guards, they took him to 21 market. After the first, second, third marketplace, the guards were astonished. Any ordinary person would be dead after the first beating. And they were exhausted. They were leaning up against, we've been beating him all day, still he doesn't die. And then, so actually before that, he was that was punishment. But before that, the Nawab and the Qazi, they were there, and they were saying, just preach from your own scripture. Just preach from your own scripture, and then you can go, and stop this chanting. And he said, even you take my body, you cut into little pieces, I cannot stop this chanting. So he's chanting the holy name because he has so much attachment for the holy name, but still he doesn't think he's become advanced. He doesn't think he's become advanced in Krishna consciousness, but he's so attached to chanting the holy name. So what an ideal, amanina maninena kirtaniya sadahari, there's an ideal. One is so attached to the chanting the holy name, thinking oneself a fallen and diseased person and has to take medicine very strictly. And the more one advances, the more fallen he thinks himself. He doesn't think himself advanced. So there's no question about the ineffectiveness of the holy name. But such a fallen soul, no matter, still they're unqualified because they always remember they're always remembering their low qualities and their fallen nature. They're always remembering that. Jogita bicha kichu na hipai. That's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I've examined myself. I see nothing of value. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so much quality, so much. So this is the nature of the devotee. They're always remembering their fallen nature. Haridas Thakur is teaching us the proper attitude. Not that therefore the chanting Hare Krishna doesn't work. I'm still so fallen. No, chanting Hare Krishna is the only hope. It's the only thing such a fallen person can do. Something else today?
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class. So, like these days, while we are staying in temple and in our centers, so we go into management and organization mode, and then the devotional aspect is missing, and then we make offenses. So, like you mentioned, without which it is not possible. So to like chant nicely and be peacefully. So how?
Probably probably best to just give up the whole process. I mean, what was it you said that we're doing management, we're committing offenses. What else was it? Something else.
Organization.
Yeah, we're committing offenses, and just forget the whole thing. I think best just give it up, and then you won't commit any more offenses. How's that? What to do? You try not to commit offenses, but you have to. Those who are accepting the responsibility of spreading, of organizing the preaching, they're the most glorious. They're the most glorious. Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, he said to Prabhupada, I'm just thinking about the bricks. And they used to go on the trucks to Kolkata, Bhavananda, Goshai and Jayapataka Maharaj, they'd sit on the truck. This is 50 years ago. You imagine the roads in those days? And they'd sit on the back of the truck with the concrete and the steel, bringing it back from Calcutta. In Navadip, you couldn't get the concrete and steel, bricks. They had to go to Calcutta to get the concrete and the steel. And they're sitting on the back of the trucks coming back to Mayapur. Jayapataka Maharaj tells the story. They stopped the truck and the hotel came and said, like some hot milk. Your sadhus, like some hot milk? Okay, it takes hot milk. And drinking the hot milk, and they're up on the truck stealing all the steel. They're throwing in the ditch. So he said to Prabhupada, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj said to Prabhupada, I'm just thinking of bricks, concrete, steel and sand. I wanted to think about Krishna. And Prabhupada angrily said, you think that building my building here is not spiritual? You think that building my building is not spiritual? That's what he said. And he said, you stay here all day, or you can go to Mangalati the rest of the day, you're here all day, in the long building. Mayapur, Chakra building, long building. The first building in ISKCON. It was the longest building in Bengal when it was made. And as Prabhupada, after building the building, Prabhupada walking down the corridor, still there, the corridor, Prabhupada walking down the corridor, and he said, just like Fifth Avenue, New York. So that's the perfection of the disciple. How you can make, it's not just you sit around, chant rounds, read the Bhagavatam. You think it's going to happen? You're going to do anything? Of course, those things you do, but no, you have to take on the austerity of organizing the Sankirtan mission. Otherwise, how these young men can come in contact? They're not looking for Krishna consciousness. No one's looking. It's not that, they'll come find us here. We put the sign at the front. They'll come. They're not looking. They're no one looking. They're not interested. You have to convince them. It takes blood. You have to shed volumes of blood. I mean, it's effort. You have to organize. You have to get up. You have to have it organized. You have to use your skills. Use your intelligence. And it becomes purified. You be purified. The more you can use it. Brahmapanam Brahma Havi Brahmagno Brahmanam Hutam Brahmaiva Tenagantavyam. It all becomes spiritualized. Your intelligence, your abilities, your skill, your determination, everything becomes, you have to connect it. Otherwise, these things will cause you trouble. Everything has to be Madarpanam, Jad Koroshi, Jada, Jadhosh, Tattapasasikunda, Tat Kudusha Madarpanam. You have to do everything. Or as the famous, we hear, work now, samadhi later. Work now, samadhi later. So who cares? You think, oh, I'm doing the organization, I'm committing offenses. What if you weren't doing organization? What would you be doing? How you would be causing trouble for yourself. So collateral damage is a minor consideration, causing offenses to the devotees. Therefore, we won't do anything. We won't organize anything. No, you have to take the risk. You have to follow the basic etiquette, be respectful to the devotees, don't be puffed up, don't push around, or try to serve the devotee. Bhakata Shaiva Paramasiddhi, but you have to get the job done. Have to get the job done. We heard in the Srila Javitaka Goswami Maharaj, he's a member of 35 committees. And he sits in all of the meetings. I can't believe it. He's there in all of the meetings doing the exercise and he comments. I mean, I can't believe it. A man of his achievements, but he's so, the organization, leadership of ISKCON, how he takes so much suffering. It's inconceivable. Because you have to accept it's your responsibility, it's on your head. That's the attitude, it's on your head. It's not just going to organize itself. It's on your head. You have to make it happen. You have to, as though Prabhupada was coming and to see the event. And Prabhupada is coming and doing it for this will make you pure. This will make you advanced in Krishna consciousness. Don't leave anything unutilized in your life, in your character, you have to use all of your propensities. They have to be all, you have to completely offer everything to the Lord. And that way you'll make a swift advancement in spiritual life. You have to take the responsibility, leadership. Have to be kind. Jiva doya nam ruchi. Nam ruchi the jiva doya. Jiva doya means what? Get up, organize, communicate, send the message, make sure everything's done, make sure it's on time. That's jiva doya. That's jiva doya. Not just sitting, oh, the poor conditioned souls, I pray for you. No, you have to get up and do it. Make it happen. Make everything organized. That's it. Even a small program is so much appreciated by Prabhupada. You don't realize the effect that the efforts that you're making have. You have to do the work. You have to do. And offense devotees, I said nothing. Don't worry about that. Unless you have a malicious, you want to hurt nothing. You make a few mistakes in the management, nothing. Nothing. Spots on the moon. Spots on the moon. You look on the moon, there's spots. But still, it illuminates the dark sky. Hare Krishna. So again, we'll meet. You're most welcome. I think tomorrow again. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. And then again, I'm simply whatever Nimai Ananda orders, I am surrendering to.
We are blessed by more and more association of Prabhuji. So at 3 o'clock we'll be assembling in Rameshwaram Voice. So please everyone come there and we'll have Atul Prabhu's very special association. Haribo!